Try that again. Good morning. On behalf of the Tennessee College of Applied Technology, Elizabethton, I want to welcome everyone here this morning. In particular, I'd like to welcome our longtime partner, NC3. One of the best things we did probably 4 or 5 years ago was join the National Coalition of Certification Centers. The things you'll hear today is a testament to what they can do for a training institution just like our college. They bring professionalism, the level of equipment and tools they bring. It better prepares our instructors, but the most important thing it does is gives us a third-party independent validation of what we teach. It's not just the college saying, hey, we do a good job, but it's a third-party independent observer that says, yeah, they're teaching it right. So that's very important to us. And also, I would like to welcome our newest partner to the college this morning, Kubota, and the dealers with Kubota. I think this is going to be a very exciting time for the college over the next few months as we prepare technicians to come out into the workforce in the agriculture industry. So with that, I will turn it over to, I think, our NC3 partner, and they'll take it from there. So again, thank you for being here this morning.
Thank you, President Dean Blevins. I'm sorry. So I wanted to thank you for everyone for coming, and I wanted to go over the agenda for today. Today we're going to do go over the program overviews and objectives. And then from there we're going to tour the facility and talk about how they're really engaged in the diesel ag program and how the Kubota Tech program is going to be implemented here at TCAT Elizabethton. Then we'll have a lunch with a nice little Q&A for everyone. And then we'll go into future expectations and support, and then we'll close it off with our remarks at the end. And so I want to introduce you to Stacy Schroeder from Kubota University at Kubota Tractor Corporation.
Thank you, Bill, but more so thank you all for coming today. I know some have come from a little ways away, and some of you come from quite a ways away, but regardless of how far you came, certainly glad that you've chosen to do that. Optimistic that you'll leave today having learned something about what Kubota is doing, about what here in TCAT Elizabethton, the programming that is in place today and the programming that's coming online. What I thought I'd do is maybe put the Kubota Tech program in some context for you. And so hopefully I'm telling you some things that you already know. But Kubota and our dealership network, those of you in this room, have really come into the U.S. and made a living selling folks a lot like what you see here on this slide. A lot of our rural lifestyle customers, oftentimes these customers are folks who maybe they make a living off of their work site or off of their farm site, and they use their tractor, as almost recreational. So they're getting some enjoyment out of it. They're more so doing. Looks like we've got our transitions on the slide here a little different than I expected. But anyway, these customers are ones who maybe are working on the weekends. They're not making a living with their machines. They're making a living and then they're getting to use their machines. And their expectations are perhaps a little bit different from folks that you see like our commercial landscape operators. These folks do make a living with their machines. They're really, uptime is very important to them. If their machine is down, then they're not making money. And if they're not making money, then that's a problem. Commercial landscapers, like I talked about, people using the compact construction equipment on their job sites, you've been very, very successful. Selling these machines, really providing the services to these kind of customers that really are very demanding. Now there's more and more offerings here in this space, in the hay baling, in the large tractors. Again, these customers are ones that have very high demands, very high expectations for you to work with. And so now, the other thing I'd want to tell you about is that some surveys that were done back in April. I sent a survey out to the dealership network and got some of these comments from it. It really made the point that without the technicians coming into your dealerships, we're going to have a problem. And one of the lines here says, I wish Kubota was actively involved in technical colleges to help dealers create a pipeline of talent. And that really is exactly what we're here to do today and to talk to you about. Putting that even in some more context, how big is this issue? How do we quantify this? Really, there's two ways I'd look at here. One of them is about the growth. How many technicians do you as a dealership employ today? How many do you expect to employ here in about 4 years? Well, this forecast tells us that you've said about 35% technician need just because of growth. And so, but growth is not the only factor influencing the need for technicians in your dealerships. Also here, the retirements, other turnover, that has a factor as well. And so you put that with it, and that's about 40% of the technicians that are currently employed are going to be turning over in this 4-year or so time frame. Add those numbers up, and across the dealerships, there's more of a need for or almost 3,500 technicians in this time frame. To really think about how many does that mean? That's about 1,000 a year as we move forward. And what that tells us also is that by 2022, less than half of the technicians that will be working for you then are currently working for you today. And so that really puts some urgency to it and really puts the case out there for we need to do something in order for you to be able to continue to serve your customers and for those customers to continue to invest their trust with Kubota. And it looks like slide deck's a little different than what I was expecting here, Bill.
Just want to keep you on your toes. Thanks.
But anyway, that is really why we're here to talk to you about this Kubota Tech program. And tell you what, if you would, take a look at that. These slides are advancing and they shouldn't be. So, so the Kubota Tech program, we're getting it started here. TCAT Elizabethton is really somebody that we've been working with very closely to identify some certifications to put into existing programming for students that are already in school. There are going to be some announcements here made today about what this program looks like moving forward, and really excited to talk to you about that. So the first few certifications here, if you can advance the slide a bit here, Bill. Well, there's 4 certifications that are being started here. You'll learn about those on the tour, and you'll learn, more importantly, about ways that you can work with the school and you can engage with the school to learn about opportunities for you to either recruit from students that are coming through it, or more importantly, for you to recruit out of your local areas and then bring them into the school to get an education so that when they get to your dealership, they can go right to work. And so with that, I'd like to introduce Dan Ramirez with NC3. You've already heard Dean Blevins talk a little bit about NC3's role, but now Dan's going to tell you a bit more about how they add value to this partnership and really the value that's coming from them.
Thank you, Stacy. Thank you all for being here. And yeah, well, clearly, as you can tell by the PowerPoint, this is our very first pilot. So thank you all for being here. Many of you are going to find yourselves on the leading edge, let's call it, of the technology in this great national program that we're putting together. I just wanted to take a few moments to introduce you all to NC3, just so you know who's who in the zoo and how this program has come together. We're a nonprofit organization. Our job is really to bring industry together with education to help solve the skills gap, make sure that students are trained in their various vocation to the jobs of the 21st century and all the new technology and skill sets that you need, and to help them get placed in wonderful careers. So we couldn't be more excited working here with Kubota. Our job is really kind of an easy one. We work with great schools all across the country and great companies and great industry members and great employers across the country, and we just bring them together, right? So our job is really easy. Stacy and his team and you all and your team and Dean Blevins and his team do all the hard work. We just do a little bit of the coordinating and maybe a little of inspiration. I mentioned we're here today. We've been hard at work for the last 6 or 7 months putting this program together, and we're really excited to introduce it to you here today. For those of you who might have been at the National Dealership Meeting, you might have heard a little bit of that, got a little bit of a teaser from Stacy and the team while you were there. I think we got a chance to meet some of you, Matt, for sure, and some of the other folks from the area. What we've been working on over the last 6 months is developing certifications. You're going to learn a little bit more about this. Developing certifications that will ensure that the students leaving this heavy-duty program know about Kubota, have worked on Kubota vehicles, and have certain fundamental, particularly skill sets that will help them be great technicians for you. So our role in the process has been to help select some great schools around the country that will be great for their local Kubota dealers, to develop those certifications, so the curriculum and the labs and the exams that will ensure that those students have great skills that you need, so they can show up to work on day one and be able to work on your programs. We'll talk a little bit about those certifications. You'll get to see them in action. A key part of what we'll be doing too is training the instructors at the program so that they're Kubota savvy and can pass all of that wonderful technical knowledge on to their students so they become good workers for you. So we've done that. The instructors here and at the other launch programs have already become certified on the Kubota products. So we've been hard at work there laying that foundation. And then we've put together the infrastructure, the certification site that will allow us to actually issue those Kubota certifications to the students here in the program. So lots of good stuff in the background. Today is an exciting day because all of that's coming together, bringing it to you and introducing you to the school and beginning to launch this program here. So thank you for being here. Let's see. Let's see. Let's go back. I don't need slides. So just a word, a little bit of background about what we do. Transportation is in our blood. That's really what transportation programs at colleges, whether it be automotive or heavy duty, are really where we have spent most of our time. We also develop certifications in manufacturing, which, as you know, is a very in-demand field across the country as well. Aviation is really going bonkers. If you fly like we do a lot and you talk to the FAA, they're a little concerned about how they're going to have aviation techs, keeping the planes that we fly every week in the air. So focus a lot on aviation. And then also the building trades. I have a construction project going on right now. It's really tough to find good electricians and good contractors out there in general. So a lot of areas along with transportation, particularly heavy duty, are areas where we focus. And what we do, and what you'll see as we go through the day today, is we build stackable certifications, usually a day or 2 days of training for a student that gives them some very finite skills, maybe new technology or specific products that will help them, really succeed and go in depth so that when they show up to your job, they really know how to do that task, and they've experienced that vehicle before. They're not wandering their way around a side by side, right? And never having seen or taken that apart, right? So that's our job, and our certifications really give them that experience, and we do that across many industries. What's central to what we do is training the instructors, because we realized very early on that without great instructors, it's hard to produce great students. And you're going to get a chance to meet several of them today on Dean's team, particularly John Lee, who's here in the back. You're going to get a chance to hear a lot from John. For those of you who haven't had a chance to meet him, John is an amazing advocate for CTE, a fantastic instructor, and just a wonderful person who's going to be training the students who hopefully will come to work at Kubota dealerships. So training those instructors and making sure that they know your product as well as you do, so they can transform that to students, is really, really important for us. Big element of what we do. And then what we do is, at the higher level, one of the amazing things, we try to help schools across the country really see what it's like to be a center of excellence, right? And so one of the things, you're going to get a chance to experience TCAT Elizabethton, and you're going to get a chance to see how they've become a Kubota center of excellence. And what we want to do, and we'll do over the next year, is help other schools follow that lead and really build that model where they have excellent instruction, excellent facilities, where students come in, they go, wow, I never knew this is what what a heavy-duty tech could be, right? I want to do that, right? For some of you, finding that inspiration and in a facility that really respects the trade and really shows it at the highest level and is technology-driven, that's really what you'll see here today and what we will help drive across country. And we do that through visioning and benchmarking tours. It's, when you can take somebody to a place where it's already happening, it is so much easier. They go, yes, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to look like. I want somebody like John teaching. And so a big part of what we do is introducing that. So you'll get a chance to see that, and that's going to be a strong formula as we spread across the country. Of course, you're going to get a chance to see TCAT Elizabethton today, really a fantastic model across the country. And here are a few other schools. We have about 130 schools across the country that we feel are great candidates for the Kubota program and other programs that really exemplify that professionalism that you hear talked about a lot on the news and training that next generation of students. But the first top three will certainly be part of the Kubota program in the early going: Gateway Technical College in Kenosha, Wisconsin, TCAT, and then Lynn Benton out in Oregon. So each of our districts will have, to begin with, at least one center of excellence, and then we'll continue to expand from there. So, and I should say, as we're going out throughout the day, if you work well with a school nearby you, because I think localness will be really key to in-depth success. If you have any schools that you already work with that you think would be great candidates for this program, Brandon and the team and ourselves would be very interested. There's nothing like building on an existing great relationship that you might have. But, and we'll make them a Kubota, help them become Kubota Centers of Excellences. So with that, this is what you'll probably see in a very typical, high-end, great classrooms, lots of technology, lots of equipment, lots of hands-on work, not just academic work. It's really the heart of what we do, and you'll see as we go through our certifications, really getting practice on the exact tools and products that they'll be working on. And that's about it. It's about building partnership, and it's very, very block and tackle, helping schools vision what they need to be, helping train those instructors, and then helping develop really great curriculum and labs for the students to learn specific work. And when it all comes together really nicely, you get a great scenario, a great school with some great industry partners, and we look forward to building that here with you today and sharing how that's all going to come together, and also getting your input as we go through the day here and any questions you have on how the program can benefit you and create that. You're going to hear this term a lot, creating a win-win-win. A win for you as a dealer, a win for the school in terms of attracting and building a strong program here, and of course a win for the students in terms of getting them started on a great career at Kubota and onto their heavy-duty tech world. So thank you very much. And with that, I'm going to introduce Brandon and Bill Finn, Brandon Brown from Kubota and Bill Finn. They are the two who are driving this program on a day-to-day basis across the country. Bill is our program manager. Brandon is Stacy's program manager. And they are the folks that you will see most. They'll be your lifelines as you're getting engaged with this program. And they're the ones who are shaping it and building all the details on a day-to-day. So with that, I'd like to introduce Bill Finn and Brandon Brown.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Dan. Okay, so now that you guys know, who NC3 is and what we do, what is our role, right? So, NC3 provides the primary support for programs to schools, identifying, qualifying, participating colleges and for the program. So what does that mean, right? Colleges must commit at a presidential level. So President Dean Blevins, is fully committed to the Kubota Tech program here at TCAT Elizabethton. So we would like all of our participating colleges participating in the Kubota Tech program to have that same level of commitment from the top down. College programs should have a comprehensive medium heavy-duty diesel program, right? So colleges must be an NC3 member school, where we really want to make sure that they are exhibiting that required professionalism, that image, and those instructor training standards, right? We help coordinate dealer and college orientations, just like this one here at TCAT. And we really want to cultivate the dealer and college relationships like how we're doing today, making sure that we develop that local win-win-win partnership between the students, the dealers, and all of you and the school. So we also helped lead the development of the curriculum, the Kubota Tech curriculum. And, we organize and conduct instructor train-the-trainer models. I know Dan had mentioned that earlier. And these events are where we have host trainings at our certification centers nationally across the country, where colleges like TCAT Elizabethton are bringing instructors from all over the country to get trained on the latest certifications to take back with them to their schools to train their students on certifications, like mentioned earlier. And really providing that hands-on professional development, becoming experts in the latest certifications, and really getting that world-class training to new and existing and experienced instructors. So, and ultimately, NC3 will issue the Kubota Tech certification program, and finally, we'll report those metrics on that as well. For example, how many certifications that each participating school has given out with respect to the Kubota Tech certification, like maintenance or electrical certifications. So the Kubota Tech program, conditions for program success. So we really want to make sure that, the schools are, really, really hungry for that industry-relevant content. We had the 100% commitment from, the school, right? So we also want the local dealers, you guys, to be hungry for that pipeline of technical talent, willing to engage with NC3 schools, and really, again, this is why you're here today, to really form that relationship to create that local win-win partnership, again, with the students, dealers, and the schools. And Brandon will talk about the high touch.
Okay. So high touch, what does high touch mean? Well, when we started out on this journey, it's been over a year in the making, guys, to bring us all to this place. And so high touch, anything that is worth doing, we got to do right, and we have to have the right elements and the right ingredients to this to make it successful. And part of that is, if you just take a look throughout the day, you'll see that there are many folks here wearing Kubota on their shirt. And so we want to make sure that we're doing our part to invest in this just as much as you guys are, okay? Everybody has skin in the game here, right? And so I am your contact point throughout this journey, okay? And we also have a significant amount of division staff who are also going to embark on this journey with us to make sure that you guys at any point in time can pick up a phone and call someone and get those questions answered, to understand things that may not have gotten resolved here today, right? So I do encourage you as we move through the day, introduce yourself amongst all of these folks, get to know them. We want to become a family. We want to get this so close-knit that you folks all feel like you can pick up that phone anytime, call me, call one of these division staff, and get those questions and things resolved that may surround this. So we want to make sure we also are in the content, right? It's easy to throw a program out there and say, here's a certification, but we did a lot of research in this, and Stacy and I, we attended the advisory board meetings. They're at headquarters, and the two things that always seemed to come out were that we needed technicians, and we can't find them. You guys are not the only folks with that problem. This is industry. This is literally technical-oriented fields. This is an issue across all of those planes. We listened, right? We listened, and now we are putting the pieces and parts together to make sure that we make a machine that will run for you guys and give you those technicians that you need to be successful. The Kubota roles. So we want to make sure that we map out. This school was not chosen by accident, guys. We took the map and laid it out. We took all of the NC3 schools and threw them on the map. We took the potential or the populace of dealers, threw them on the map, and we started looking at those high dealer populace areas and then schools that were highly successful in the things that they do. And so as you move through this school, you're going to notice that This is not a one-hit wonder, okay? We're not just doing a Kubota program here. They have many, many, many other successful programs here, and they invest heavily in all of those, okay? So as you're moving through here, extemporaneous from the tour afterwards, if you guys would like to see some of the other things that they do well, please get with the staff here. They'd love to show you those things, okay? But I just want you to know that this school was chosen because it is one of those places that you walk into the shop and you can literally host this event in the shop. It's that nice, it's that clean, okay? And that's the things that we look for in these schools. We want to make sure that from a Kubota point that we're assisting in those development pieces, right? We don't want to just say, hey, NC3, make us a certification. I think I saw John Lee and NC3 company more than I saw my family there for a little while, okay? Spent a significant amount of time here with Kubota product, dissecting, tearing into it, making sure that the things that we're bringing are applicable to the skill sets that you are deficient in, okay? We want to make sure that those folks are well equipped. The dealer communications, right? So some of you guys, most of you probably got a phone call from me. That was one of those things we wanted, high touch, right? Mr. Sloan sent out some emails to help enable this as well. Please note that we are the contacts for you guys to make sure that any questions you have along the path, we want to make sure we get those answered. The dealer, you know, what does a highly engaged dealer look like? Well, it's someone that's interested in obtaining technicians that are competently sound and are really ready to go and be a profit center in your dealer, right? If you're interested in that, then you're ready to come and be a part of this school, you know, there's all sorts of levels here that you can play at. One of them is that you can source technicians from this school. You can send technicians to this school. You could be on the advisory board here. There's no reason that you can't come and participate in the advisory board or council proceedings that happen. One of the things that enables you to do is you now have a voice and the ability to enact change in the programmatic things that are going on here. So now you, as a dealer, you are at the highest level of engagement you could possibly be. So note that you do have that opportunity. Please take advantage of it. It is one of those unique opportunities to really be able to come in and shape a program to really fit the needs of our industry. So let's talk about the certifications for a moment. We have pre-delivery inspection and assembly, preventative maintenance, basic maintenance procedures, and basic electrical. And you're thinking to yourself, well, those base level competencies that a technician would obtain, and you're exactly right. And there's more to come. This is only the beginning. This is the level 1 certifications. Day 1. Let's call him Tommy. When Tommy shows up to John's class on day 1, when he's talking about the very fundamentals of assembling a product, which Kubota products, some assembly required, is a bit of an understatement, okay? We have some things that you have to do, and you have to do right, and you have to do well to get our products assembled and ready to go to a customer, and that needs to happen only one time. They don't need to be bringing it back, okay? So we're going to equip students to do that well. The other thing is that in those electrical and hydraulic foundational courses from day 1, they're going to be using Kubota equipment with Kubota technical schematics, Kubota technical resources to enable labs. So from day 1, he's on Kubota product. From the day to the day he graduates, he's on that Kubota product, and that sort of lends to yes, we are coming with level 2 certifications in the 2019-2020 time. Those are going to now incorporate a new equipment subset. So we do have 3 pieces of equipment used in this level 1. The B26 TLB gives us a construction and a small ag piece there for these these students to learn on. The ZD 1021, it's a diesel-powered zero-turn mower. And then the X1140, which is a bit of a hybrid in that you can use it in a 2-seat or 4-seat configuration. So those are the 3 level 1 pieces. Note that when we go to level 2, you're going to see things much more sophisticated with our emissions control systems and advanced electrical systems with CAN, so Tier 4 final emissions, right? Those things will come in the level 2. You'll see that it may look something like a KX080 excavator, an M7 tractor, an SVL 95-2 compact track loader. Those are the things that have those advanced level systems on them that in the level 2 we would be looking to train these technicians on. So we tried to make it easy for the schools. The schools, we set up a national account within Kubota. So they contact our national accounts folks, and they basically are purchasing this equipment, guys. So unlike you know, everybody wants to have their hand out, right, and say, what can you give me? And I feel like what we've established here with NC3 and these partnered schools is that they know that there's nothing in life that is a handout. Everyone has to have a stake in this. And so these schools are putting up the money to purchase this equipment. Now, we do have a significant cost savings to them in that we did set up this account for them. So they're buying it at a discount, okay? But I just want you guys to know loud and clear that everyone has a stake in this. And it is very important to all who are in this room today that we help each other along the path of success. Because only with all of the stakeholders in this room will this program be successful. And I think that goes into future milestones. And Bill, you want to go through that, sir? Sure.
So we wanted to kind of talk about what's coming up in the future. So you know, for the remaining, so we, you know, Brandon had talked about the you know, level 1 certifications and what's coming up after the PMI, PDI, basically electrical and maintenance. And so for the 2019 in April, we're going to have the hydraulics and engine in April, and then we'll round it out with the steering and suspension along with basic braking in July. And then for the 2019 instructor trainings coming up, you know, we're going to, you know, Dan had mentioned that we are with Lynn-Benton, Gateway, TCAT, and so we have additional schools in this phase 1 round where we're going to have remaining secondary trainings on the 4 certifications that we're rolling out in February 2019 at Kubota HQ. And then in March, we'll have a TCAT Elizabethton, train the trainer on hydraulics and engine and roll that new certification out. And then at Gateway, our big one, the big event of the year at Gateway in July, we'll have the brakes and steering and suspension, and then we'll go into Lynn-Benton through end of the year in August 2019 to round out you know, other certifications to be announced. So, so we just want to conclude by saying, hey, I hope you guys are, thank you for coming to this presentation and really hopefully be committed to the Kubota Tech program, and we're going to further down go see the tour. So after this, so we're going to get the tour going, and so maybe give a couple minutes to round everybody up to do the facility tour for
before we go on that tour, John Lee will pop back in here. I just wonder, we've gone through a lot of material quickly, a lot of over, got a chance to meet. Any just foundational questions that come to mind before we head off on the tour and introduce you to the school? Yes.
How does a Middle Tennessee dealer benefit from association with an East Tennessee training operation?
Yeah. So one of
There's
the
nobody that comes to me, I don't know. Somebody from here want to drive it?
So, exactly. So, in your case, you have an opportunity to send a student here. So, state of Tennessee does not have tuition for schooling. We have many dealers in Texas. Zimmer Kubota is a great example. They pay for tuition, housing, travel, everything for students to travel out of state to Oklahoma to a college up there to attend. So it's all about the skin in the game, right? If you're wanting to participate in this program and have a qualified technician that has Kubota product knowledge baked into them when they leave, this is the place currently. Now, that being said, you're in East Tennessee. That's not to say that a school doesn't proliferate there in the future. We are not in any way saying that this is the one and only college that we're going to open or have as an NC3 partner. There's many, many opportunities out there. And so if there's a college in your area that has an interest or that you've been working with, we're interested. I've collected, can't count how many business cards from community colleges all over this country. So it's one of those things where we want to go back and look at the dealer populace in that area, make sure that it is a school that once we get involved with, that they are going to be able to, one, supply the technicians, two, have facilities that are becoming of a Kubota certification technical school. And that is a big deal. It really is to us. We want to make sure that the schools that we're partnering with have all of the keys to success already in place. I nor we have time to go in and hold hands on schools to get them up to speed. We need them already there, ready to go in and produce technicians for you. Stacy had stated, you know, we're a little behind the curve here with other OEMs. So we've got some catching up to do, guys. All right. So you can take, to answer your question directly, I would recommend that you pull out your checkbook and write a check and have some folks come over here and participate in the program. That happens all across this country and seems to work well for those folks who have or are in a particular geographic region where it may be a little harder to get somebody to come to you and or get somebody to leave. So that is the case here. John has made no bones about that. There students who go to school here, they like to stay in this area. But that's not to say that we can't bring others from outside in.
And if there are great schools, as Brand mentioned, we look forward to having hopefully dozens and dozens and dozens of schools across the country. So, we know a lot of great ones, but if you are ready, if there's one in your community, or if you're, like so many dealers, it's like, oh my gosh, I live here, we really need one. I don't have one. We can go back to our roles. So, so certainly let us know what will drive this program is interest on your behalf and interest on the school's behalf. And we think putting those together will really work well. Yes.
Is there a placement office here that a couple months ahead of students graduating that the dealers can contact and just start interviewing people that are?
Yeah. So John's going to have a piece a bit later where he's going to talk about, he's going to have a Kubota only interview day. There's also a open interview day for when everyone can come in. So as part of this program. So just note that he'll get into, I don't want to steal all his thunder, but he has some things in line that are specifically driven towards enabling you folks at Kubota to be successful with obtaining students. Now, that also being said, they do have a truck that they take out for recruiting purposes. We do have some high schools here in the room with us who are a great network that they've established here in this area. And John has been very gracious to say that he and I both are ready and willing to go out to your area. Mr. Amos, we can go out to your area and we can go to those high schools. We can go to that area and help you with those recruiting efforts. Like I said, it's high touch. I am at your disposal to make whatever and be wherever you need me to be for this to be successful, okay?
I'll just say as a prelude to that conversation we'll have. And so by the way, today, what we'll plan to do after we leave here in just a few moments is take you on tour, introduce you to the program, talk a little bit about what the cycle at the school is, how often they're graduating students, how many students are coming into the program, and how that all works. Then we'll come back, have lunch, we'll have some Q&A and kind of get into it. I'll just say is a great question, and as a prelude to that conversation, by the way, if you're trying to meet students a month or two before they graduate, it's probably too late, right? Yeah. I think we'll learn that most of the students, if not all the students who are graduating from this program, just given the state of the economy, are probably placed well before they graduate. So A lot of what we're going to talk about is getting to know those students early in the process, you know, a year, maybe even 2 years as they're entering this 2-year program, and getting to know them and letting them get to know you and kind of building that relationship so you can get the best talent, right? You know, instead of being at the end of the line upon graduation.
I think it was stated the students here have no less than 3 job offers standing right now. It's that serious, guys. These guys that come out of this program are sought after, they're highly marketable, and they can be profit centers to your dealer, okay? But at the end of the day, you gotta go after them. The school's responsibility is not to place students, it's your job to go get them, okay? So make sure we're getting to them early. I think that is very important to say, is that you gotta get to them early. Or have one that you're sponsoring from your local area. And I think those 2 factors right there will allow us to be successful. Any other questions?
Is there anything, like, what are these students expecting for an hourly wage when they graduate? Any kind of number you can these guys not?
I'd have to, you know, obviously, you know, I'm with Kubota, I'm not with TCAT. I don't know the market in the area, but John, I'm sure could answer that question.
Phil, as we go through the tour,
we'll get
during
that
the
fielded.
budget, John will have a good sense of that. We talked a little bit, I know when we were at the dealer meeting with local schools from local regions, we got a sense for that. So we can get a good sense for what the metric is and how to be competitive there.
And I didn't mention, but I might, that they have Mr. Blevins, over 100 on the waiting list to get into the program now. Over 100. So just so you know, there are no short supply of folks who would love to be in this world and to participate in the Kubota Tech program. We actually sent out an internal poll with the folks here, and there's a very high interest amongst the students. So, good?
Okay, yeah.
All
Let's,
right.
how about, should we take maybe just a
Yeah.
2-minute break real quick? How about we'll meet right here in the lobby in just about 2 minutes. Get a chance to introduce you to some of the instructors, see the facilities, and get to know the program.